Yeah, hi. Alrighty! Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your early morning, somewhat late out of date, very late NXT and AEW Dynamite review. The Tuesday Night Wars, ladies and gentlemen, is back. So I'm guessing the Tuesday Night War is like a yearly thing now, right? Like it's like every October, early October, somewhat. I'm assuming they're always gonna do it because AEW they're be pushed out of having their usual time slot because of freaking baseball. That's how bad AEW is. That it's not worth it. I mean, modern wrestling's not worth it. It's just there's no real market in terms of people caring. You know what I mean? So that's why they were pushed out of their usual time slot. So they would usually be on Wednesdays, but because an agreement might deal with TBS, they're able to have the show, move to Tuesday this week. So it was at war with NXT. The Tuesday Night War. Well, remember they used to have the Wednesday Night War. Now it's the Tuesday Night War for just one night only. I remember last year they had two wars. They had Tuesday and then a Wednesday. You never know. Maybe NXT might be moved to a Wednesday. But to be fair, last year NXT was it was the presidential election, I believe. So I don't even think it's gonna be moved this like last year. Whatever. But regardless, the Tuesday Night Wars, ladies and gentlemen, WWE NXT versus AEW Dynamite. This is literally so. The special about these shows is that it's NXT versus AEW. I mean, it's not just AEW, but it's NXT versus TNA Showdown. That's literally why they're doing, by the way, the whole warfare, the brand warfare with TNA, just because they're trying to compete with AEW, trying to see which has a better rating. But we all know that for God's sakes that AEW has gotten so fucking bad that NXT doesn't really need to even compete, to even try. But it's what are you really trying? TNA, if in all honesty, is not even a big brand as it used to be. So what's the fucking point of even trying? But not just that. You're gonna get additional 100,000 viewers? Okay. But at the same time, I remember serves me right. Shout out to Technical Work Rate Productions, by the way. Shout out to them. They actually mentioned this in a video. I'm pretty sure their last week's episode dropped in 100,000 viewers. So you're not even getting ratings anyways with this TNA shit. So whatever. But anyways, this show. So the big thing about these two episodes is NXT vs TNA Invasion Showdown. Again, they changed the name from Invasion to Showdown. That's really why they're doing this whole brand warfare with TNA. And they rushed it. It's 2 weeks of build for this. And then AEW's Title Tuesday. And keep in mind, barely any titles were on the line for this show. So much for calling this show Title Tuesday. Based on how you were booking your AEWs, won't that make any sense? To have booked your supposed matches for Wrestle Dream, your stupid pay-per-view that's coming up. Instead, some of the matches are happening on Title Tuesday, and then you can always do the rematch, a soft rematch on the pay-per-view. Just if anything makes more sense to happen. Why aren't you maybe doing Hangman versus Samoa Joe on fucking Dynamite? Why not just do that? Because really, who the fuck wants to see how many times you can do babyface versus babyface? And it's why should we care that you guys are having this match? This is really the big match you're going to do at a freaking pay-per-view? And literally, keep in mind, they're doing this match. Their feud is happening because apparently, Samoa Joe dropped his belt or something. They dropped the belt. One of the wrestlers dropped each other's belts. And all of a sudden, that's a way to freaking make you intrigued of this feud? What the fuck are we watching here? And at the same time, you could have determined a number one contender for the winner will face freaking a Hangman or whatever the fuck they decide to do. Maybe to make it a triple threat with somebody. You know, someone attacks Samoa Joe and Hangman, leading to a triple threat. Won't that won't that have done something to make you somewhat care about Wrestle Dream? Like, that's an easy cop-out. Tony Storm versus Chris Statlander leads to another pay-per-view match. Like, why aren't these matches happening on Title Tuesday? Instead, they did like a jobber bitch versus freaking Sasha Mercedes, whatever the fuck she calls herself, and Kyle Fletcher versus Kyle O'Reilly. And the thing they're calling this match is Kyle versus Kyle. The feud of apparently the story of this match is Kyle versus Kyle. That literally, the battle of the dumb names. They might as well have freaking had Kyle Brachetto come out from the dead and crushed him with his fucking body. That's what should have happened. Ay ay ay. Like, that's the feud. And apparently it's Kyle versus Kyle too. Who the fuck remembered number 1? You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, to say that I was intrigued of this show was not by much at all. Like, I just was intrigued to see what they're going to do with this whole TNA shit. So I wasn't home when this show was happening. So it's not like, it was like, keep in mind, folks, I'm very busy on Tuesdays usually. Like, after work, I go to the gym. I have practice. What practice? Maybe you guys will find out what kind of practice in my next Modern Romance show. Tune in for that. I don't know if you guys know me or whatever. You'll know like what kind of practice I'm doing. But regardless, yeah, we'll talk about both AEW and NXT. We're gonna start with NXT because NXT existed before AEW, right? So we're gonna talk about that, and you know NXT is usually on Tuesdays anyways. So we're gonna talk about that show itself. But yeah, let's just say that both shows I did not really care much for. I really didn't. For this Invasion show, for NXT and AEW, like seriously, it's too late to make you care about a TNA Invasion. Okay? The time that people wanted a TNA Invasion was when guys like Kurt Angle, Sting, the Main Event Mafia people, you know, even AJ Styles and people like that. Those are examples of when people wanted to see this invasion. If you want to make this seem like a care about an invasion, then why the fuck aren't you having like AJ Styles joining Team TNA? You know, or all the guys that you still have that are in WWE now. It's like, you know what? We're going back home. Like, something. Just give us some life. Because even though technically it would be just the same bullshit as they're doing as with the 2001 invasion mistake. Like, get it? We're going to have this guy go to... First of all, that's kind of like what they did. They technically did what failed about the 2001 invasion. Is that, oh, we're going to have a WWE wrestler join the other side for no reason, even though they were never part of the WCW in the first place. What they did on NXT, Kelani Jordan joined the other team for God knows what reason. But yet we're supposed to think she's a babyface. And that's really just it. And then, I'll get it, Trick Williams is a TNA champion that's on Team NXT. You see what I'm saying here? Like, this is literally the same bullshit. But people are going to pretend to care because, get it, it's brand warfare. It's just an easy excuse to make people pretend to care. They're two unique entities. They're two unique brands. Even though TNA is basically dead. TNA is not the same as it used to be. TNA is literally freaking garbage now. It's not the same. The only reason why WWE has this partnership is literally because it's dead. There's nothing to worry about. Like, it's just AEW for God's sakes. That's it. That's it. So why should we care about TNA? The only thing I would care about TNA is that if they bring the fucking library to WWE Network, even though the WWE Network is not really a thing anymore because you have to have fucking so many fucking platforms to watch whatever the fuck. But like, that's literally the only thing to keep in the WWE's library. That's literally it. That's literally fucking it. Because who the fuck's gonna care about freaking, I don't know, like TNA, NXT TNA, you know what I mean? I mean, that's what they might as well do. They might as well freaking have NXT TNA and blah blah blah. You would think that's what was going to be the case, but they didn't. And again, keep in mind, there's no real story. There's no real story besides, oh, It's NXT versus TNA. Like, what's gonna happen? Is there a legit war? You know, does the winner of the brand, like, is there like what do each brand gets when they wins? You know what I mean? Because that's the fucking problem. When you did an Invasion pay-per-view, or when you were doing the whole brand for brand warfare thing back in '01 with Survivor Series, the idea was, oh, one company's gonna die. You know, this could be the end of the WWE, or this could be the end of for WCW, whatever. What's gonna fucking happen? This fucking show, it's just a showcase. Which, case in point, was the name. But at the same time, why should we care? Like, what's the story? You know, is there the only thing is I don't get why okay, you're already doing this gay partnership. What is the gain from this? You know what I mean? What is the gain from this? There's like no warfare. Like, oh wow, TNA won in the end. Okay, what's the big deal? I don't feel any emotional attachment. I don't feel anything big that happened. What is this supposed to lead? Is this supposed to lead to like some ending where like, oh, TNA is gonna have to put their brand on the line? It's not like it's gonna be like some long-term. You want to talk about long-term booking? There's no long-term booking type of warfare. As much as I don't like what culture or their smarky people that they have, I will give credit to Adam Blampier, whatever is that his name? The Adam guy from who did how WWE should have booked. I will say this. How he booked the Invasion was amazing. Okay? So, credit to him. Like, we need stuff like that. You know, how WWE should book the Invasion. Like, that's what you talk about. That's an Invasion booking right there. You know, TNA should have been like, oh, there's a partnership, but then they're slowly growing, and then eventually all the former TNA guys, including guys like AJ Styles and whatever the fuck the people they have, you know, oh, we came from TNA, but it's time to freaking take over to prove who's really the best brand. And eventually, yeah, you could have done this showcase, and you know, hey, we're taking over NXT, and then basically NXT no longer becomes a thing. It actually becomes just straight up TNA. At least a long-term booking where, yeah, you know, some of the NXT guys gotta resist, and then eventually they get back TNA in like a big match, you know, type of deal, right? That's an Invasion. That's a fucking show. That's what you could do for the partnership. But the problem is, like, it's like, oh great, we're gonna have dream match. It's basically, again, it's dumbass AEW Forbidden Door bullshit. That's what this shit is. It's just dumbass Forbidden Door garbage. And how is that exciting? You know what I mean? It's bad enough that AEW does this Forbidden Door garbage with jobbers from New Japan that no one fucking knows for. But you have TNA, which again was the second promotion that was in competition with WWE, the second biggest promotion before AEW. You have an opportunity here, somewhat, and you can even bring back some of the legends like Sting and Kurt Angle to be managers of the TNA stars. To kind of prove, like, you know, and it's TNA, and then you could have had Kurt Angle side with TNA as, you know, I had my best career in TNA type of deal. You could have had stuff like that going on to be mentioned, and like, wow, and this could make people want to watch TNA, watch the old footage. You show old footage of freaking TNA and shit like that. That makes people somewhat care. And then that whole Invasion idea taking over, brand supremacy, that's where it's at. That's where you actually care. But no, what they literally did is 2-week build of, get it, we're gonna have a freaking brand versus brand bullshit for no reason. Even though, yes, they've been interacting for God knows how long, for like, what, a year now? But what they have done is like, it's like, really? This is what they're doing for their supposed Invasion show? Because keep in mind, this was supposed to be known as Invasion. But then they had to change it because of the whole Israel bullshit, which I understand kind of because of the date. Maybe if they did in a different date, then sure. But whatever. But you know what? It's time to freaking talk about what happened instead of what didn't happen, right? But all I will say is, I don't really care. In terms of like, I would have loved a TNA Invasion if it was from like, what, TNA 2009, 2010 type of deal. I mean, when Hogan was there, You know, that's the TNA I wish that was invading WWE. This is just former WWE guys and former NXT guys that are now on TNA and they're at war with each other. You know what I mean, folks? So what is there really to be invaded? Anyways, let's talk about what happened. Grab your Coca-Cola, drinking my new inspiring to make the bitches go, oh shit, oh shit. I don't feel like drinking right now because I am just, well, I just took some supplements, so. Alright, so the show started with the Hardys. So this was the only thing, like, probably, the only thing redeeming about your show with TNA is just the Hardys. That's literally it. The Hardys are the only thing that's redeemable from TNA. That's resembles star power. You know? And yet the sad part is they were not on Team TNA. I don't know, whatever. The Hardys, they defeated Dark State in a winner-take-all TNA World Tag Titles and WWE Tag Title match. So, in a sense, maybe unified. Well, they're not unified, but they're both, you know, they're both champs. I'm happy with that. Okay? Oh, the Hardys are very young talent. Why are the young talent? Who the fuck cares? Fuck the future. The future is garbage. Fuck the young guys. These young guys suck. Okay? It's about time we showcase the actual stars. The Hardys win. Good. Good. Second match, Team NXT defeated the women's. So this was the women's war survival. Okay, so they did. So these team matches, it's basically a Survivor Series style tag match. I do miss WWE not doing the Survivor Series tag matches at Survivor Series because it makes more sense to do it. But at least they're calling it like that. Like, you know, it's just a simple tag team elimination, whatever. I wish they would bring it back, you know, the Survivor Series traditional match, than just War Games. I mean, you could do one War Games match, but that should be it. Not every match needs to be fucking goddamn War Games, you know? The women don't need a War Games, let's be honest here. But anyway, second match. Team NXT of the women defeated the women's of TNA, the Knockouts, in the women's Survivor Series match. So Team NXT had JC Jane, Lola Vice, Jada Parker, and Sol Ruka. They defeat Kalani Jordan, which again, she's from NXT. Mara Sade, who the fuck is that bitch? And the Inspiration, aka the Iconic Duo. And Jordan Grace was the special guest referee. How is this supposed to be, you know, how is it supposed to be fair? I don't fucking know, do I care? But yeah, JC Jane and Sol Ruka are the sole survivors, whatever. Ava is not buying Matt Cardona's apology for getting involved in Josh Briggs' match. That makes a match for next week, Matt Cardona versus Josh Briggs. So already this whole showcase is a joke because so much for like, okay, so this is a showcase, right? This is supposed to be Team WWE versus Team TNA, TNA wrestlers versus AEW wrestlers, or WWE wrestlers, whatever. And yet they're going to continue this. It's not like, oh, you know, oh, if Team NXT wins, you know, this partnership stops, or, you know, they get to be, you know, it's not like it's the other way around. Like, shouldn't there be some stakes involved? Because from what I remember, there's no stakes involved. Like, shouldn't it be, oh, the winner has the advantage over the other company? It's not even any advantage at all. It's just great. It's a showcase of matches, which I understand based on the name. But again, you called this show Invasion originally, and we're supposed to care about this as some brand warfare shit. This is, like, why should we care? This is just, again, dumbass fucking Forbidden Door gay bullshit. The third match, Ethan Page defeats Mustafa Ali for the North American Championship. I really didn't care. Some people probably thought this match was great because whatever. I mean, I don't care. I really don't care because there's no story, and I'm not a fan of either wrestler, so. And Mustafa Ali's a gay, dumb liberal. He's basically Zorhan Mandani. He's a betrayer to all the Muslims in the world. I'm a better Muslim, so fuck that. I'm the greatest Muslim in the world. What can I say? I'm not some radical piece of shit. Maybe I should run for mayor. I have to be your only hope, you people. And all I have to say is, Muslims, you're fucking retarded. Like, all you fucking support. I mean, I'll make a video about Zorham and Downey, but for you people that fucking supporting that guy, y'all retarded. El Hijo del Varango, it says he's coming for the NXT women's, not women's, I mean, might as well, I don't care. North American champion, I don't care. Then Lexis King interrupts, and I don't, just dumb shit. JC Jane tells Sol Rucas that she'll see her around, and Zarya takes issues of Sol making new friends. Apparently, it's essentially between the friendship or whatever. I will say this about Zarya. She's pretty bad as a freaking, as a non-makeup, non-face paint woman. It's like, it makes you question, why do women have to freaking hide their hotness? You know what I mean there? She's kind of bad, bro. So, Zarya, forget the face paint, girl. Keep your natural beauty. We need more of that. You see, that's more empowering. See, I'm empowering women, motherfuckers. Let me see Blake Monroe, speaking of empowerful women. Okay, so I don't get it. Why isn't Blake Monroe on Team NXT and whatever? But I don't care. It's dumb. Now she wants a third? She wants a third. I mean, hey, you know, you go to a fucking shit, you like group of friends, like, hey, y'all want a third? You know, it's good stuff. Fuck yeah, you show some game, nigga. Damn. I don't know, she wants the women's North American title and blah, 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 and then there's Ascension, blah, blah, blah. And the main event, TNA, I keep saying Team AEW, TNA, which is Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, and Leon Slater. The sole survivors were Mike Santana and Moose. They defeated Team NXT, which is Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Miles Bourne, with the special guest referee was Joe Hendry. No cliffhanger, no nothing. It just, oh wow, Team TNA won. And like what? If you tally everything, like, okay, so the Hardys won, then NXT won, then, oh, so there was like 4, so it's basically pretty even. So nobody really wins. I don't get what was the direction of this shit. Not that I care. But it's like at the same time, so what was the point? You know, what does each brand get? You know, 'cause basically you kind of even it up for no reason then. Whatever. And then before the show ends, you see Ava and Santino shake hands, and they like congratulate each other, and they says, you know, because of this, why not we have more NXT partnerships, and the women there'll be a big battle royal for the women's title, blah blah blah. There'll be a women's title number one contenders match involving both brands. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's our cliffhanger. That's the way to end the show. Basically, you just you did a showcase. I get it. That's the stupid name. But it's like, that's our big NXT versus TNA show. It just basically matches with no real story, no real brand supremacy, no real hatred. It just, get it. We're going to showcase these matches. And they're only doing this just to basically take viewers off of AEW. Like, let's be honest here. AEW has gotten that dead that you don't even need to compete with them. An average episode of NXT is already beating AEW. So what's the fucking point? I don't know. All I have to say is, like, really, this was the show? This was this whole TNA invasion we've been waiting for years to see? This big collaboration with TNA, and then it just basically just dumb matches with no real story. Okay, whatever. So much for that. Now we're going to move on to AEW Dynamite Title Tuesdays, which, again, no real titles were on the line. Only like, what, 1 or 2? Yeah, so much for that. And the main event was like a freaking regular match. So, I don't know what to say. The show started with a confrontation with Samoa Joe and Hangman Page, and I couldn't seem to really care about this. Hangman is out. Samoa Joe just came out after, and Hangman thanks the fans for 6 years before telling Samoa Joe, you know, Joe, you're angry, but you're angry, but no one but yourself for not being champion. But I owe you. I owe you the ops for the help and all in. The repayment of my gratitude stops there, and then I will. You will not take the title from me. Samoa Joe that says like everything you said is true. But I don't see a champion. I see a pretender. And the ops didn't have. If we didn't have your back, you wouldn't be champion. And you aren't a fighting champion. You're padding the stats week in, week out. The most uncomfortable truth is you're standing in front of me, you're a fraud. And I'm gonna check you. And then Hangman says that, like, why do I have to explain to these tough guys who I am? I acknowledge that I will beat your wrestle dream, and I'll fight you, I'll fight back, and I'll prove I'm the best in the world. And like, shut up. It's this dumb, like, dissension between baby faces. Like, they're two baby faces, and we're supposed to care about them feuding now for no reason. And again, keep in mind, they're only feuding because of some stupid, dumb logic where, oh, they dropped the title, and that makes someone hate them. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. You get an interview with the collaboration, and Matt cuts her off and says this is the day of multiplication. And I don't care what this is supposed to mean. First match, Jon Moxley defeated Tomohiro Ishii. Again, more of this gay New Japan garbage. Again, what is this bullshit that you're still doing this brand to brand, whatever, AEW versus New Japan garbage? You have your Forbidden Door, which is literally why people don't care about Forbidden Door, because you're already doing Forbidden Doors anyways. In every freaking show, basically. So why should we care about this match? And I feel like they have done this match so many times. Who the fuck is Ishii? Besides the smarks that pretend to care about who the fuck is Tomohiro Ishii is. And why should we care about this match? Whatever, Moxley won and I don't care. I think we already know what, whatever. Renee's with the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are trying to get a hold of Tony Khan, and then they're out of money, and then this should be worried about the Jurassic Express. Second match, the Hurt Syndicate defeats the Demand in a street fight. I'm sure this was a fine TV hardcore match, even though I don't think this was really hardcore in like cool old school standards. This is probably typical kendo sticks, whatever, in a table spot, whatever. You know what I mean? Fine. Then we get the Don Callis family. It says there's a dozen here, and they said this is gonna be a game changer. Yeah, you're really gonna change the game, alright, like with your bunch of jobbers in the group. Third match, the Jurassic Express, they show up, but apparently they had a match. Apparently, and they defeated them in like a quick jobber squash match somewhat. Whatever. I thought we were supposed to hear from them, but whatever. They had a match. The Young Bucks were sitting in the crowd. They go in the ring and attack both men, and they challenge them in Red Wrestle Dream. I thought we were supposed to hear from the Jurassic Express, but yet they didn't freaking talk. But whatever. So much for that. Then the Death Riders are in the parking lot, and Pac tells the Changering Balls that this isn't personal. He just want to whet his appetite. You want to whet your appetite probably for some cum, am I right? Fourth match is it's a battle of Kyles. Kyle versus Kyle. I wonder who won. It was Kyle. Which last name? Who the fuck cares? All I wish is that Kyle Brachetto came back to life and crushed these people. That's what I'd care for. I don't know, the guy who's still the champion. I don't know, the guy who kisses freaking other men. I don't know. Both of them kissing. I mean, it's about the gay Kyles. I swear to God, both of these men are too similar. So why should I care the difference? Both of them kissed other men before. So why should I care? I think it's Kyle Fletcher or whatever, the guy who still is the champion. And what's his name? Mark Briscoe came out to confront him after like some jobbers came out and whatever. Fifth match, the only other title match that ever happened. Mercedes Moné defeated some bitch named Lacey Lane. Who the fuck is she? I don't care. Then we had the 7th match, which was a double Jeopardy Eliminator Champion match. So, here's the thing about this match. So, this was a AEW World Tag Team Championship along with so basically this was champion versus champion. But guess what? No titles were on the line. Apparently the idea is whoever wins from each team gets the title match from the other person. Which I don't get. Because, okay, so if Okada, I don't even know, like, so what? So from Brodito, if they won, what do they get? Which one of them gets the freaking unified title? You know what I mean? Like, how does this make any fucking sense? I don't know. Anyway, so, yeah, so this was like a champion versus champion match. Like, whichever of the person win, they'll get a title match or whatever. And the winner was Konosuke Takeshita and Okada. They defeated Brodito, so they're gonna get a future tag title match. Even though they could have just easily did a tag title match tonight or whatever. Not that I would give a fuck. Then we get Jet Speed. They say they don't like FTR. Yeah, they don't like each other, John. And then Megan Bain walks in with FTR. They don't like either one and whatever. This leads to, like, again, some stupid freaking agreement that they're gonna help each other fight off with some people. I don't care. I don't care. The main event, yeah, so this was, oh yeah, so the show went over 2 hours, by the way. I guess, you know, they want to make it seem like it was a bigger show than NXT, whatever. It went overtime. We went overtime on TBS or something on Tuesday night there. And yeah, so basically, Orange Cassidy versus Pac. This was Pac's first match in God knows what. And Orange Cassidy wins. Yeah, Orange Cassidy. He defeats the new and improved Pac. So much for that. And then after the match, Darby attacks Pac and you're mine. You're mine. I'm going to crawl in your ass. I'm going to take your ass. I'm going to come on your mouth. Yeah, you want to feast an appetite? I'm going to come in your mouth and you're gonna like. I don't care if you like it. And that's how the show ends, ladies and gentlemen. That's our Title Tuesday. That was Title Tuesday. Barely any title matches. And you made them in a show with like 2 midgets. You wonder why you're in the low ratings. And you'll probably get even more low ratings because people fail to remember that there was what, TNA tonight as well? I mean, not TNA, NXT AEW. What a joke. Anyways, let me know if y'all want me to do videos like this again for NXT and AEW. If y'all want to see my beautiful, my beautiful self, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the reason why I just do like phone videos with the pictures because I'm lazy. But at the same time, like, I'm just happy that like both shows are at the same night. That way I don't need to worry to do, 2 different shows. Like, the fact that they were both on the same night, it was so easy to review. That's why I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to do both reviews, I'm just going to review both in the same video. Since it was basically on the same time as a Tuesday Night War. So that means, like, tonight, I can enjoy my Wednesday night, just relaxing. Maybe I'll go out, and just do whatever. I mean, like, I could have always gone out with, regardless. I'll always go out on a Wednesday night. Like, it's not like Dynamite is important at all anyways. It's just like, at least I'll be motivated to go out and enjoy myself. Because, what? Like, I do want to try to keep involved to know what the hell's going on. But at the same time, I don't need to worry about AEW. So that's a beauty. I don't need to worry about watching dumb wrestling tonight. Not that I would really care to put 100% into it. But at least it'll be on the background, but I don't need to worry about putting on the background to get an idea what's going on my TV screen. So yay! I can enjoy my Wednesday night. No gym, no nothing, can enjoy myself. Yeah, hell yeah. But other than that, it's like, what happened at this Tuesday Night War, it's just an indication that modern wrestling is shit. I know some people would be like, oh, NXT was better, AEW better. I don't care. Both shows are shit. It's just like, I mean, I guess the invasion, whatever, that NXT Warfare was fine. But it's like, not really interesting, not really story-driven. And I was like, oh wow, this team got to win. Like, I don't care. You know, I don't. Because there's no real story, and there's not real brand supremacy. Like, this is just, for some reason, cheap excuse to make it seem like, hey, you should watch this show instead of AEW for God knows what reason. Even though AEW's already has like terrible ratings now, it's not like it's gonna matter. I'm pretty sure people forgot that. Again, people have forgot that AEW was on tonight. So what's the fucking difference? I don't know. I hope freaking both shows would be on the same night again. I mean, fuck, move NXT back to Wednesday nights and it'll be easier to review. I don't know, or something. I don't fucking know. It's not like I could pay attention to watching at both shows, anyways. So yeah, that was our Tuesday Night War. That was WWE and NXT. That was NXT versus TNA versus whatever. So that was our NXT versus AEW Tuesday Night War bullshit. Both shows were not really important or interesting in my honest opinion. I mean, maybe important for this TNA brand supremacy, but like at the same time, who the fuck cares? Because it's not like anyone's gonna gain anything, right? So that was both shows. I'm done. Modern wrestling is shit. This TNA invasion is like 20 years too late, and who fucking cares? I'm just keeping it real. Get your gains, your clothes magnificently inspired, make the bitches go, oh shit, oh shit. That's what I'm done gotta say. Until next time, peace. Yeah, bye. Oh, feast for I'm the best in the world. I'm the king of cruiserweight. I have a feast for appetite. Yeah, feast for Kim. Am I right? Till next time, peace. Yeah, bye.